All right, 2-week hiatus. We're back. QB drama in Iowa City. There's a new punter in town in Chicago. He's incredible. His name's Tory Taylor. Unbelievable performance. Yeah, and then we're going to have a season preview breakdown. Henry Marchese, Coach Marchese, future coach for Iowa.
Seriously.
Be
prepared for the most detailed breakdown you've ever
heard. That's right. If you want to know about Iowa football this year, you listen to Henry Marchese, the man, the myth, the legend, the punt block king.
The GOAT. How's your weekend? This is one of the first weekends we had not been together in a while.
I know, only on Thursday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Thursday was fun.
We need to start just like recording our bar conversations about football.
Yeah, I mean, those are like 5 hours long.
It's
a month worth of shows in
it. All right, you know what one I'm genuinely still curious about? When coaches come, like when they're recruiting you and they come to your house, how does it go? Like they cook, your parents cook the meal for them? How long do they stay? Do they pull a Coach Harbaugh and sleep on your couch?
No, that is nuts. And well, Harbaugh, I think he walked into someone's house with cleats on like a hardwood floor. Nutcase move. It's like you're having your friends over, like for like a nice dinner. Like they come up to the front door, except they're like dressed in suits, and you kind of like you introduce them to your parents. For me, it was Coach Ferentz, Coach Wallace, and my mom made dinner. Sat down, had like a dinner with them, talked with them for like 45 minutes, just about random stuff. There's like no football talk. It's all about life. And they're like, yeah, like we take pictures and then boom, we leave. Like it was quick, super quick. And like, it was super casual. It was like you are inviting your friends out or say you meet someone out for the first time ever. You're like, oh my gosh, like, you become friends with them and you're like, come over for dinner. That's what it was like. Like the first time you're actually like getting to know someone and you're just casually having dinner, talking. It's cool. It's pretty cool. And like we had a pretty cool house in the lake in Wisconsin, and Coach Wallace used to ask me about it like every single like month. It was cool. It's a wild experience, and it happened so fast.
Did KF wear a suit?
Mm-hmm.
I can't picture that.
Khaki pants, I think a black or blue sports coat, white shirt underneath with a black tie that had like Iowa, I think logos on it, or it was black and yellow stripe. It was cool. It was pretty.
What was for dinner?
I think it was either burgers or steak, and then my mom makes this like coleslaw that's just. It's the best thing in the world. And then like I think cheesy potatoes. It was great. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Those are good. Cheesy potatoes are that's a great Midwest meal.
Oh, yep. She makes some pretty damn good ones.
Oh.
I'm strict. I'm on the coleslaw. Dude, the coleslaw is insane.
Coleslaw is good.
It's a different type though. It's got like she takes ramen and like breaks it up and then roasts almonds and then mixes those together, and then you throw it into the coleslaw. It's insane.
Oh, wow.
And instead of like mayonnaise, it's like vinegar based almost or something. She like makes this sauce. It's insane.
Man, we gotta have a round table dinner at the Coopers.
Dude, you do. It's awesome.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. It's pretty dang sick. But
I've always wondered that recruiting process, because I mean, we got to have a coach on and say like, I wonder if they would ever answer what the worst meal or worst experience they've ever had on a recruiting trip.
I would say it's got to be a coach that's done coaching. They don't want to lose their job. I'm sure there's some crazy stories. I mean, mine was very simple. But like mine was like a very quick recruiting thing. Like I can't imagine what the visits are like for like 5 stars. Like I'm sure it's insane.
What about when you get to camp? I guess is it freshen or everyone's doing the summer workouts? When do you start to like get to know KF? I feel like position coaches, you're always with them.
I think it kind of depends. I'm not gonna say I really know KF. Like I knew KF. Like I'd see him around and I'd say what's up, and you could have a full conversation with him. But like, obviously, you were closer with your position coach, unless you were like a captain or like a leader on the team. Like I was never one of those guys. So like we were on a definitely like, yeah, hey, what's up, base? Like he'd say, hey, what's up every time you saw. He knew your name. He knew where you're from. He knew everything about you. Like he was always cool. He knew every player.
Nice.
Of them.
First name basis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
That's
like
talking about.
If any player went back, he would know who it was. So he's just the man. But like yeah, I would say he probably got to know the lineman the best. I mean, he was always helping coach O-line. But like I was hands down probably closest with either Cope or Wallace, just because Wallace recruited me.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So the recruiting factor is just how do they pick the coach?
I think each coach has a territory, so it's kind of based off where you're from.
Oh.
Wallace is from the Midwest. So is KF. I don't know. Like, yeah, I think once Coach Polisek came, he took over Wisconsin. So it would have been Polisek was a nut case when it came to recruiting. He recruited me when I was at North Dakota State. He would show up with all of his national championship rings on. He is just a different dude, and like it's so hard to explain it unless you met him. But he's awesome.
What a baller!
Yeah, and he's like best friends with my high school coach, and he's hilarious. But yeah, he's a nutcase. Love him. But yeah, the recruiting trip, dudes. I mean, it's like I can't imagine just traveling 4 hours just to try and convince someone to come to your school.
Do they just drive after practice?
I don't know. I think it's weekends. I don't freaking know, dude.
Well, like James Franklin shows up on a helicopter.
He showed up to a high school that was like our rival high school to watch some kid play. Actually, to watch 2 kids from my high school who committed their play.
To Penn State?
Yeah, our running back, who was like one of the top running backs in the country, and then some huge O linemen. We've had a lot of big guys come out of my high school recently.
Wow. Oh, this is recent.
Yeah, well, even like the guy, the O lineman from Bama who went to the Titans 7th overall, his freshman sophomore year, he was at my high school and then went to IMG.
Dang, Wisconsin represent.
My high school's got some. My high school coach is the man. Like he's the all-time winningest high school coach in Wisconsin history, and he's been there for like 47 years.
You think you could beat an Illinois high school?
Yeah, I would say we'd crush Stevenson.
We'll let you and Ed debate
Bill, Loyola Academy.
Oh, no, not a chance.
Not a chance they'd come close to us.
So Tori's a newfound legend in Chicago. Instant Hall of Famer, by the way. But his first 2 punts, I think it was 51 yards and then 57 yards, both within the 15-yard line. And everyone in Chicago was like, oh, yeah, this is really cool.
I think he's the best out of anyone in the preseason.
Oh, yeah. Caleb had some plays. A little insight here, though. There was a boom mic following him around, him and Charlie dapping up, hugging at the end of the game. Probably going to be on Hard Knocks tomorrow night.
That would be sick.
Or when you're listening, it'll be tonight. But yeah, wow. Maybe we'll finally get some Tory love in Hard Knocks.
I know. I'd actually watch that I haven't watched any Hard Knocks. Just been watching movies. I watched 2 movies yesterday. 2 rom-coms.
Yeah. Give us a rundown on this. Reviews.
Well, before we do, I'll give you 2 great reviews because they're fantastic movies. What is, if you're in, like, doesn't matter what mood you are, is there one movie genre that you could watch every single time and be satisfied?
Oh, Seinfeld.
That's not a genre.
That's
That's fair though. I like that.
literally all I watch.
If someone said comedy, scary movie, action movie,
Comedy.
every time,
Every time.
dude, I could watch. I think I could watch a rom-com every single time I watch a movie.
What's your top 3? I think number 1's easy.
Don't say The Notebook.
No, wait, no, that's not a com though.
Yeah, that's a dram. That's a dram.
Tromcom. Number 1, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
No.
What?
Way.
wait.
Number
How
one
is that not number
rom-com?
1? That's easy. Oh yeah.
Dude, no. I couldn't rip rom-coms, and that is not in my top 5.
Mila Kunis in that movie she's remarkable.
No, I have a new favorite like rom-com actress that I think is the most dominant, like just elite rom-com. You know who Rachel McAdams is?
Yeah.
The chick in The Notebook. She's electric. Like just
Are you gonna say The Notebook's number 1?
no. I think She's Out of Your League is number 1.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good.
About Time, number 2. And then number 3, I'd probably go The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock.
Oh.
But then if I had to throw an extra one in there, I watched 2 Rachel McAdams movies yesterday. About Time and then The Vow with Channing Tatum too. Sick. So sick. And it's in The Vow, the whole Vow is in Chicago.
Wow.
The girl's parents' house is in Lake Forest. Rachel McAdams lives off like the Diversey stop. It's like it was sick. I'm like, holy shit.
They're right down the street.
They're right on the street, dude.
Oh, maybe I'll watch that.
You have to. It's electric.
That's literally our neighborhood.
It is.
Huh.
The Vow. Great movie. But yeah, I think About Time is. I guess it's a rom-com. It's a little more rom, but like, dude, fantastic.
Speaking of ROMs, the weather this morning, the breeze
Unreal.
felt like fall.
Dude, the whole day it's felt like fall. If you're not in the sun, it's great.
How could you not be romantic about football right now? It's week 0.
Dude, I just saw a video today on Instagram. It had like the quad post where it was like 4 sections, and it was college football, leaves changing, Halloween decorations, and like fresh baked cookies. And I'm like, we're almost there.
Saturday is going to come, and there's going to be a day when leaves are changing, they're falling. We're going to be having sweatshirts on, drinking Busch Light all day in a bar, screaming at 18 to 22-year-olds.
Fired up.
And then the rest of the week, our mood is dependent on them. And there's nothing better than that. That's what we live as many weeks as there are in the year just to get the football season, and we're finally here.
We're close.
I think
next week's week 0, right?
August might be one of my least favorite months now.
No, it's like that. It's like that. It's the in between summer and fall, which is not fun.
It's one of those where it's like, 4th of July, you still are on the high, but you're like, oh, it's about to end. And then August comes, all the families go on vacation. And then football's not even here yet, but now we've made it. You get through the dog days of summer, everything's worth it.
It is. Is next week 0?
Yeah, no, this Saturday is.
Yeah. Who's any good games for week 0?
It's Florida State, Georgia Tech, Hawaii plays. It's always nice seeing Hawaii. It just feels good.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Georgia or wait, what's up? Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State, Georgia Tech.
I love that. I
We'll
love
see
it.
they're good this year.
That'd be a fun game.
That's
That's what's football, man. It's all that matters.
It's going to be awesome. Week 1, Illinois State. I'll be in Nashville watching from the greatest place on earth, Tin Roof.
Bang.
Excited for that.
Good old tinny roof. I mean, should we watch? Oh, you're gonna be gone. Damn, you're gonna be gone the first weekend.
Yep.
All right. I actually might be gone too. I think I'm gonna be home.
And then week 2, Iowa State, Chicago. We'll have a watch. We'll watch it somewhere good in Chicago.
Unless we're there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, that's right. You have to.
I got a busy September, man.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah. All right, let's dive into the season preview. Coach Marquez, breakdown hit. Right at it.
Bang.
All right, we have Coach Marquez on the pod today. Legend, still breaks it down. Willie Lills still posts a picture every week of Hen in the bar breaking down the Iowa State-Iowa game last year.
Happy to be back, fellas.
Welcome back, Sam.
Here's a bad idea. Let's just get this bad idea out of the way now. After we watch the game at the bars this year, we go back to Coops and record our instant thoughts.
I actually love that idea.
Great idea,
dude.
But we might not be seeing Coop. He might be going somewhere else.
Whoa.
Coop's always got something.
Cut that.
Tommy,
he's going to another bar, man. He's just going to another bar.
Yeah, Tommy got it.
And this is our time to see Hen every weekend now. Last weekend was a taste for you, Coop.
I was out with him.
What was that?
I know.
I was out with Hen the whole weekend. You screwed us.
Why? I had buddies in town.
Bring them.
It was BP's birthday. Shout out BP.
Shout out BP.
It was Jim's kegger.
Yeah.
That's right. Funny story from the summer, actually. So we go to the Cubs game with Tori, and so this guy is just. Was that Jim's first time meeting? Jim is Henry's older brother. To paint the picture here, I believe that was Jim's first or second time meeting Tori.
I mean, hasn't seen Tori a lot, that's for sure, but definitely not the first or second time. He's known Tori for a while, but first time in a long time. We'll just say that.
So we're sitting down, and this guy is yapping Jim's ear off, will not stop talking to him. And Jim just points straight at Tori and he goes, "That guy's on the Bears." Tori just looks over and is like, "What was that, man?"
And Tori, after that, the guy is like, "I don't believe him. I don't believe you're on the Bears." And he was like, "Yeah," Tori being so Tori's like, "Yeah, don't believe it. Like, not at all." So then the game's still going on, and Tori turns to us, and he's like, "I should have said my name's Max Cooper."
That was a day. I think he's hated me since then. That was a bad. That was a classic flake move by me.
You cooped it up.
That went back to my old days, my roots.
Yeah.
That was really that's what Jim was talking about when he said Jim literally Henry and Mike came up to me this weekend. They're like, Jim was just talking about how you might be the biggest flake he's ever met. And I'm like, dude, I've only flaked on Jim once in my life. Like, that is a fact. Also, that was the first time I've ever been to a kegger.
No way.
Oh,
yes.
Did you do a keg stand?
No.
Oh.
Hilarious, dude. Jim set up Boom Cup 4 times and left the game within 3 minutes every single time. It was the wildest thing. Also, though, Electric, that flip cup game we were doing, dude, we were having that's dude. Listen, you'll love this.
Is that your first time doing flip cup?
Dude, we were dominating flip cup. Like just our team was filthy.
You said that flip cup game. Was that your first time playing?
No. Because the last game, this dude's been an asshole on the other team, just hammered. And
get out in front. This is a bullshit move by this dude.
No, it is. It's a humongous bullshit move. It's just like it's stupid. Henry's trying to flip his cup. This dude takes like a cup and of beer in it and throws it at Henry's cup. And it like gets on Henry. He's still trying to flip it. Still flips it. Makes it. Henry chucks a. Was it a cup?
So after that, I was like, "What the fuck was that?" Because I'm going. I get fucking beer splashed on me, and this is like the first. They just needed someone, so I just stepped in. I wasn't even playing. Don't even know this dude, and I flipped the cup like Coop said, and at the end, I think Coop's at the end.
Oh, dude,
Coop's the last leg.
It was the most legendary. Like our team had the craziest comeback. We were down like 3. We were behind like 3 cups, and then people went boom, boom, and then the guy missed the first 2 against me, and I flipped it like the first or second try. It was like I hit like a game 7.
Yeah,
it was insane. And then
Henry, Coop was the last guy. He got on a buzzer, and he was going against the guy that fucking threw the cup and the beer at me. So we were all jacked up, whatever. Everyone was all pumped after we won. And I was like, that fucking, beep, got it out of me, And I fucking took a beer, and we were all yapping and stuff, and I fucking whipped it at him. I was like, I'm not the fucking one.
He is him. Henry's him. Henry.
Oh, I wasn't even hammered, dude. I was barely.
You can't mess with the beast.
I was barely drinking. Like I had a couple, just like because it was mostly for one of our friends who played at Wisconsin, Mikey Mascalunas. He's taking on a new adventure, going out to Denver, and so funny story. I guess we could say it. 2021, me and Mikey were talking about this. He's number 58 linebacker, Wisconsin. We got our ass kicked at that game at Camp Randall. After the game, and we were talking about this, me and Mikey. After the game, we were just going to handshakes, and I'll never forget, Mikey's face is like so red. He's got, he's squinty eyes. I'm like, dude, and think like Camp Randall's jacked up. They just beat the shit out of us. We were top 10 team in the country at that point. We just lost 2 straight. From being number 2 team in the country. And dude, I'm like, are you all right? Like, what is wrong? And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm fine. Like mumbling his words. And after the next day, dude, he texts me. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm concussed. I'm out for 3 weeks. I'm like, yeah, no shit. You were like walking drunk. So on the weekend, he was like, yeah, dude, I'll never forget just that game. That was my last, because that was his last year playing. He was like, that game, I was ready to be done. I couldn't take on Potabom in the A-gap every single play. And I was like, what a way to go. You get an Iowa-Wisconsin bruiser of a game, and you're like, yep, I'm going to lay my sword down.
Good man. Good
Yeah.
man.
It's like Pot's like a jackhammer right to the face every time.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
That's a horrible. Yeah, I can't imagine that.
But yeah, either way, I fucking, throwback baseball days, like I'm not the one. So
he is.
And that was it.
It's awesome. You can't mess with him, man.
I kind of like Henry.
Shut up.
Henry Marquez. He is Henry.
Henry.
Let's go.
That's awesome. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's first address the elephant in the room, the offense.
More specifically,
the quarterback room.
Bingo.
There is drama now in Iowa City. there's probably a script that we're somewhat used to, but I think this year there's maybe a shorter leash. I don't know. I asked Coop this, and Hen and Coop chime in because we just cut the whole episode last week with the mic troubles. But like going into camp when it was Padilla Petras, like were you guys like, oh, there's a quarterback battle going on? Like, how is it handled in camp? How is any noise or competitions going on with the coaching staff, and what do players notice?
And I'll give a short answer because I know yours will be longer. It's not a quarterback battle for the first game. It's not going to be a battle for the first game. If it is a tight race at quarterback, if the person who is not starting is doing well, they will most likely get a chance in the third, fourth game, maybe second, maybe at the end of the game. But the first game is going to go to Cade. That's the bottom line.
I agree. And from one, we were there with the quarterback battle. I wouldn't even say it was kind of a battle. It was just seeing where guys were at, seeing how guys are getting better. I saw it from both sides, from the offensive side and defensive side. And I didn't feel it being like a competition at all, even though like Padilla and Spence, they're like one of our boys. Both of them are. But we didn't see it from like a competition standpoint. It was just like, okay, who's going to be, I guess you can maybe spin this as a competition, but who's rising towards the end of camp and who's really playing great? I always thought it was going to be Spencer, and it was Spencer. But like Coop said, later on the year, Spence got a little dinged up, probably wasn't playing that great. Padilla stepped in, huge win against Minnesota. Like things like that. I think KF does it for a reason as well. He's not going to, he keeps his cards close to him. And I totally agree with Coop. I think Cade's going to start week one. I know Sullivan coming from Northwestern, good player. I'm sure he's doing well, but Coach Ferentz doesn't want noise, any more chatter than there already is about the offense. So he's not going to make some move that, gets it on the ticker. And just for 1 second, defense always does that to the offense. It's just kind of how it always been. The defense has always been, obviously the dominant side, but we don't really change much on a defensive end. So we're not installing new stuff all the time like the offense is, trying to scheme us up, things like that. So days like that happen on both sides, referring to the Kids Day game. So I wouldn't get too spun up about the performance. Just know that the defense has been doing it for a long time, and it's a veteran group. So I wouldn't take it to home.
Yeah, you want to talk about, like, if you think the offense looked bad during the games in the regular season, you should have watched practice during camp.
Yeah.
Because we were going up against one of the best defenses in the country. There was practices where we wouldn't get a single completion. We wouldn't get more than 2 yards on the offensive side of the ball. Like, that was just how it was. And it was, like, known. Like, it would be, like, there'd be picks. There'd be drop balls. There'd just be overthrown balls. Defense would make a play. It's simple as that. We're playing against a really good defense. And, like, that kind of goes into the first game. Cade can play like shit in practice. In the kids' game, he's still set at number one. And it doesn't – like, practice is practice. Like, it's supposed to help you prepare you for the game. But, like, it's just how you play in that game. It's not – you can play like shit in the practice. You're going against the best defense in the country, basically. But if you go against Rutgers the first game of the year, like, if you play well – you're going to be the quarterback. It's simple as that.
Yeah. And 100% practice is practice. Like, people are going to make mistakes in practice. That's why there is practice. So I wouldn't get so spun up. Like, I was saying this the other day. I know this is like not anything comparative to Iowa at all, but being in Chicago, Bears and Bengals, they had joint practices this past week. And I saw a tweet saying, I love and hate Twitter at times. It's like Joe Burrow threw 3 picks against the Bears defense. This group is really good. Speaking about the Bears defense, it's like, you guys are so dumb. You don't realize, like, practice, he's just going to throw it into tight windows. They're running different stuff to see what works, see if they can actually see if guys get off certain things or if it's a good concept for the group and the personnel that's in. That shit's going to happen. So when you hear reports about, oh, Cade did this, Sullivan did this, offense didn't look great, whatever, or defense didn't look great, it's fucking practice. Sorry for swearing, but it's fucking practice. That shit ticks me off, dude. That shit ticks me off. I'm like, dude, you got to realize shit, like, we're trying new shit. Even on a defense, like Coop said, defense could have its days, but, like, if we give up one big play in practice, Phil gets pissed, and he's like, fuck it. I'm going to throw something at the offense right now. Like, just some crazy blitz. Like, we're going to be disguising this way, disguising both ways. You don't know who's coming. Or we're going to travel with motion. You don't know if we're going to blitz or not. Like, some shit just to get the competitive juices flowing to be like, because we're competing out there. In the end, practice is all about competing. And the coaches compete against each other. So, like, when they get a big play, it's so funny. Phil gets pissed, and he's like, fuck it. Let's call – I'm not going to say. But, then it'll work. And then Brian, when Brian was there, the offense, they're like, what the fuck was that, Phil? And they're like – start, like, chirping a little bit. Just like – and Phil will just be, like, walking back, chuckling a little bit underneath his breath. And then we'll go back to just playing what the plan is for practice. But, like, again – we're trying shit. I know it's a long rant, but, like, we're trying shit. Practice doesn't really mean shit. It does, but we're just working on stuff, getting better.
I have an interesting question for you guys so we just talked about that. Let's get into the schedule a little bit, kind of break down each game. Before we do that, and I was just thinking about this randomly, on our team, who should be the highest ranked player in NCAA?
Jay.
Yeah, I think it's Jay Higgins for sure.
I'm going with Luke.
Oh, man, is he unstoppable in that game?
He's incredible in that. He's incredible.
You can't tackle him, and he doesn't drop a ball. He's Lukey Heisman.
Also, LaShawn Williams is sick too if our O-line fucking blocks in the game. So that better not be a preview this year. O-line, you guys better freaking get some time back there for the QB. All right, let's get into the schedule. Forrest, unless you got anything else.
This is good. Illinois State week 1. That one, I don't know if it's supposed to concern me, but they're ranked in the FCS. They're FCS.
Mm-hmm.
They're ranked number 20 there. Last time we played in FCS school, it was South Dakota State, and that was their last loss, 7-3, 2 safeties and a field goal.
What a
awesome game.
Horrendous game.
Dude, I'll be honest, I'd be nervous for this game.
Yeah.
Like, you don't
want a test. We got 2 suspensions. Caleb Brown's out week 1. DUI.
Always got one in us. Always.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey,
we got out early.
We do not condone DUIs, but maybe you know what, I'm not even gonna say.
Every time we have a DUI on our team in the summer and they're out week 1, we turn out to have a great team. So look at the past history.
That's right. And some people want to win ball games. Some people want to win ball games. Even reporters want to win ball games now. I won't say the name, but 0.344. That's like 50 beers getting behind the wheel. That's like,
yeah. You guys are supposed to make some friends out in this world.
It's lighthearted. It's actually, yeah. I mean, all right, let's move on. Illinois State, yeah, I'd be nervous, but I think this is a game I'll be 100% honest. This is a game the old offense would go into. We would score 14 to 28 points, and we wouldn't give up a touch on defense. If the offense wants to show that they've made improvements, we should win this game 45-0.
Hey, wait. Before we get there, remember last year, week 1, the first 10 seconds of the game, Cade chucks one deep, Seth Anderson. We were all like, oh my goodness, we have an offense.
That was the longest play of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then maybe a LaShawn run against Wisconsin.
Longest pass.
Yep, that was the longest pass for sure.
First play of the game.
Yeah, it was more than 10 yards. We went like sky high expectations, national title. We have an offense. Like, this is the kid from Michigan. And then we proceeded to what? Did we get dead last in total offense last year? So expectations, take it with a grain of salt week 1, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just going to read. There's a stat pulled up right here next to the schedule. I don't know if this is last year. I guess it's going into this year. We are 258th overall in passing yards, 207th overall in rushing yards, and 263rd overall in total yards on offense. So, realistically, you can only go up, but I pray to God that they don't go down.
Yeah,
that would be impressive.
Illinois State, they're a good FCS team. We've had guys transfer from Iowa to go to Illinois State. They're always in the playoffs in the FCS. I love that we do this, by the way. Just get a top FCS team because they are good football teams.
They could win. They could beat a lot of Power 5 teams.
Oh, yeah. North Dakota State beat our ass, 2014, 2016? 2016. So
put them in Ross-Ade Field this year. They beat the hell out of Purdue right now.
Yeah. So, I love doing this. Honestly, there's always first game jitters. First half might not be, crazy sexy and how we're beating the shit out of them. But I think we're going to beat their ass. I think we hold them to 7 points. I think we win 31-7.
Oh, love that.
That's fair. I like that. So win first week. Iowa State the second week. I will say this. I was with Trent basically the whole weekend, and he is claiming that Iowa State has the second best receiving core in the Big 12, which may be true because I think there's maybe 3 teams left in the Big 12. So that would make sense. But he would not stop talking. I also will preface with this. I played him in NCAA. I shouldn't admit this, but I quit 5 games in a row against him before the second half. One of those games being Iowa versus Iowa State. I was down 36-0 at halftime and quit. And that in that game, he was explaining how every single player he did well with was going to do extremely well this year. And I truly think that's just not going to happen.
He's a Leland Noel stan.
Iowa State, it's a Cy-Hawk trophy for the state. It's a Hawkeye State. But yeah, they've always had good receivers. They had Hutchinson. They have that one guy this year. I keep forgetting his name, but he's supposed to be really good, but that's always Iowa State. They always come in, high expectations. Oh, this year they're going to beat Iowa, things like that. And,
the nice thing, it's not snowing for Abu Sama. That's the only thing that can get them going.
Right. And it's kind of sweet because, like you're saying, Henry, at one point they had Breece Hall, TikTok star, Breece Hall, David Montgomery,
Purdy,
Alan Lazard,
Akeem Butler,
great Butler, and still couldn't beat us.
Yeah, so, and it's it's every single year. They come in, they'll come in 1-0, they'll beat whoever they play week 1, be a 1-0 matchup for the Cy-Hawk, and it's, they'll just come up big and high, big and mighty. You don't realize, We do this every year. Like it's just another game for us. And coming from defensive mentality, it's like we're ready to go. Like we're gonna go beat the shit out of them. So I think it's always a tight game with these guys, but tighter than it usually should be. I think we go 24-14.
I like that prediction. I think that's gonna be tight.
I mean, we scored 21 to 24 points a game. There's statistics out there. We win every single game. That's all we need. Don't care. Be the 90th ranked offense. As long as you score 21 plus points, don't care. I'm excited for Tim Lester. Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, he's awesome. I'm excited. I feel like LaShawn Williams always gets in the end zone against Iowa State.
And I will say, I never hated Iowa State. There's a lot of Iowa kids that hate Iowa State. Schott being one of them. Schott hates Iowa State, which is totally fair. I never hated Iowa State as much as those guys did, but it is very true that the second game of the year, every single year, decides your season. We could go 11-1, one loss being to Iowa State, and that season does not mean much.
Yeah, it's for the state, like state pride, like people outside of the state of Iowa. And it's so funny, like we're all not from the state of Iowa originally. And we all just went there. But like being ingrained in it, my dad played at Iowa, so I get it just growing up. But like I grew up here in Chicago, but outside the state, people might not think, oh, Iowa State's not a big rivalry. It's a huge rivalry. State of Iowa split. Like, it's civil war out there, and you get bragging rights. And it, like Coop said, like if you lose to these guys, it's just like if I had to put it in one word with a fucking emotion, it'd just be like fuck. Like, like how do we lose to these guys? You don't want to lose, to your siblings at all. They're the little brother, especially to the little brother. So, but we always get hyped up for it. Coach Ferentz loves that week because I know he doesn't take kindly of Iowa State. So he always has some motivation that he'll throw up in the Monday and Wednesday team meetings for us. So, and they'll always give us something. They'll give us something every year.
And the first game me and Henry ever went to after football was over was our first loss at home against Iowa State in like 10 or I don't even know how long it was.
It's probably like 20 years.
I think it was 2014 or 2012.
That was the worst game.
It was raining. We almost won it. We almost came.
The comeback was awesome. We drive down the field and then missed the field goal by 1,000 yards.
Yeah, and then when we start out the game with we have two block punts. We can't score from the one. We fumble on the one. We pick them off in the red zone when we gifted them a turnover. It's like they should have. That's what I was so pissed after that game. I was like, I wasn't even fucking playing. I was in the stands. I was like, dude, they should not think that they're better than us.
No.
The heart and soul of the rivalry, Joe Evans.
Yeah.
Being from Ames, Iowa, and just telling them basically to shove it. But I love that. Fun story on him. Kyle Van Noy declared him Mr. Iowa and the heart and soul of the rookies. That's high praise.
That is high praise. That's good.
That is sweet. So W number 2, week 2 or 2-0. We're not even going to talk about Troy. That should be a win.
Minnesota.
Or Minnesota. Is this the earliest we played Minnesota?
Yeah, because we usually play them in late October, November.
Mm-hmm.
This would be interesting. And it's at Minnesota, so it'll be the first time playing at Minnesota when it's not freezing, which it still could be. But I haven't heard anything about Minnesota.
Minnesota, again, it's it's a trophy game, rival game. I love, you got 2 trophy games in 4 weeks, first 4 weeks of the year. KF's going to have the boys rolling, and like you got to be rolling because those games are different. And playing for the Pig, like, got to get it back, man. Like they got gypped out of it. Like
Chipped out of it.
it's not in the building. It's like that should piss you off more. Like you walk upstairs, go to the room, go get breakfast, whatever. Like you don't see it when you walk by. You don't see the trophy there. So that should just piss you off to begin with. Minnesota, I mean, there's vengeance out there. We're gonna smack that ass. Like we're gonna be dialed in, ready to go for that game.
Every trophy game is usually an absolute grit fest. Like Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa State, gritty. The one trophy game that we can run away with at any point is a Minnesota game.
Yeah.
Usually we should run away with it every single time. The reason we don't is because the conditions are fucked with how cold it is. This early in the year, we should trash them. We should absolutely trash Minnesota.
I mean, I think we beat the brakes off them a little bit. So running the ball, aggressive defense. I mean, I know Coach Parker's going to be dialed in. Coach Wallace going to be dialed in.
I think one of my favorite rivalries in the Iowa realm is KF versus PJ Fleck.
It sucks because it's my two favorite coaches.
Stop.
Hey, he got us to the Big Ten championship.
It's Amir's two favorites too. Amir.
Oh yeah.
PJ and KF.
Dude, I will say this. He has the greatest pump-up lines in the history of college football every time. Number one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
No, number one line he has of all time. And if you haven't seen it, you should go just look it up. Just look at PJ Fleck, Day with Destiny speech. At the end of his speech, he says 3 times, he goes, boys, we got a date. We have a date. That date is with Destiny. Let's go pick her up. And he runs out of the locker room.
That is good. That is good.
He's
Hey,
nutcase.
after the take the timeout or take the pig, leave the timeouts game, did KF say anything in the locker room after that?
He was like,
Of course.
you want to call fucking timeouts? Fucking have these or something. He said something savage at the end. We all went crazy.
That game was awesome. That game was so fucking.
This is the single best rivalry,
Dude, he is like, because, PJ came in riding high, like, oh, we're going to do this in the Big Ten, that, when he came in from Western Michigan. It's like, hang on, you got to earn your stripes here. And Coach Ferentz being the Don of the Big Ten, like, he's Paul Cicero a little bit. And he's just like, come on, man. Like, you got to earn your stripes, show some respect. And there is respect there. Like, Coach Ferentz, he doesn't have no, like, bad blood with him or anything. It's just like the antics get Coach Ferentz a little riled up.
I don't think there's a single coach in the Big Ten that likes PJ Fleck. And I totally understand. I think he's hilarious. Just everything about him. It's just because Brady Ross, when Brady Ross imitates him, it's like the funniest thing of all time.
Yeah, elite.
Like Brady will wear those sunglasses that he wears, and they're both bald, and it's like the funniest pictures ever. But dude, PJ Fleck, like they were 2 in the country because they beat like 5 Big Ten teams that were trash, absolute trash. Did they have one victory that was good in that run?
2019, you're talking?
Yeah.
They started with
9-0
games, and then
right.
Then they beat Penn State at home when Penn State played their worst game of the year, and they barely beat them. And then we come in and we fucking whooped their ass. Score made it a lot closer than it actually was, but
we came in. Wisconsin crushed them too.
I will say that week there was no worry. No worry. 2019, we're wearing all black. These guys think they're fucking 9-0 coming into us. Like, dude, we know you're not that good. We flat out proved it. I mean, it said we won by 4, but really it felt like we won that game by 2 scores.
Was that a field storm?
Yep. We had.
See, I hate that because I'm like, they should not get a field storm.
It was awesome. That night was fucking awesome. I remember that clear as day. Dude, I think when we were there, we rushed the field like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
It was sick. So sick. Okay, so we beat Minnesota.
Speaking of field storms, we got the big one, the biggest game of the year.
5 week, then them.
And speaking of field storms, Coop and I, 2017, we single-handedly beat Ohio State that game.
Fuck yeah. You kidding me? Screaming from the sideline was that was I actually did go in for one play that game because Easley got kicked in the nuts. And I had to go in for it was 68, so backside was hot, or 68 or 98. And the guy broke hot, and I had to run a slant against, like, who's number 4, their DB?
Number 4, their DB.
I don't know. It wasn't like Ward, because they had like Ward and someone else in Okuda.
Oh, was it the guy who went to the Lions?
No, that's Okuda. He's number 2.
Okuda, yeah.
I remember I broke hot and I was open. I almost shit my pants. And then I looked, didn't throw it. I'm like, thank God. Easily came in next play, pulled me. I was like worry free. I'm on the sideline just going, oh, dude. That game was sick. That would be sweet if that could. Is this at Ohio? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
In the Horseshoe. That stadium is awesome. I highly recommend if you've never been.
We were supposed to go until that whole season went down, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That sham.
Yeah, that was.
That entire state, like, it's enormous how high it goes up. It's not built like the big house or anything. It's like, doesn't make sense how they fit that many people into it.
Dude, you know what's nuts? And just to think about this randomly, like 2020 season almost got Henry. Remember this clear as day. They told us the season was canceled. Me and you went to Airliner, and we're getting drinks, and we're like, "Fuck it! Like, let's drink."
We're drinking.
A little bit after that, then they announced it was back on, and then they had the fucking the rate show.
Yeah,
the rate show came through and knocked down everything. I remember telephone lines were down, no one's phone worked. It was kind of sweet because like everyone would go to people's houses and just be candlelit. We'd be drinking beers around candles.
Yeah.
And then Spencer broke out the guitar and it's like, all right, let's go home.
All right, put it away.
But yeah, wild season. But hey, last time we were at the Big House, I remember clear as day. Last time we were at the Big House, the shoe. I was in Charleston. The only play I watched was Joe Evans having a recovery for a touchdown. And we were going on a boat that day. I'm like, dude, we're gonna fucking beat Ohio State.
Dude, so
47-7. I'm like,
I went to that game and we're sitting there. I went to go grab a beer right as Joe Evans did that. You hear the crowd go nuts in the underpass there, and I was like, oh wow, Ohio State already scored. No, Iowa did, but I missed that play, and the rest of it was just Ohio State getting turnovers and scoring on us. Well, so we left by halftime that one. We just got
our defense played great that game.
Yeah, they were
awesome. It's just they got put. Well, we turned the ball over like 4 times in our own.
7. We had 7 turnovers, and I think 6 were in our own territory.
And like defense is just holding them in the field. We held them to 26 points at half. It could have easily been 40.
And we had a pick 6 the last play of the half too.
And like Campbell with the pick. Like, when was the last time Stroud had many turnovers? In college Stroud, and even NFL Stroud. Like, he doesn't turn the ball over. Like, he's Ohio State. Like, we play great. I think I don't think they had 400 yards of offense. Might have, but defense played great. Obviously, the offense struggled, which made the score crazy at the end. But
crazy. I will say, sorry, Henry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, it's gonna be a tough game.
I think the thing that's going to make or break this team, they'll show if the offense is actually good or not. It's not going to be like, for example, oh, it's sick because we don't play Purdue this year. Thank God. We play Ohio State at Ohio State. Washington's the week after. Washington should suck this year. Suck. If we beat Ohio State at the shoe and come back and can beat Washington after that game, that's when you know we're on a different level. But every year we've been there, Henry, when we were there, anytime we won a big time game, there was a game after that was an absolute, we should blow them out and we lose.
There's always a game.
It was Purdue usually.
Yeah, but there's a game that we should not lose to a team, and somehow we do. And I agree. I mean, we'll get down the schedule, talk about some of those, but just back on Ohio State, it's going to be a tough game. They're the best team in the country, talent-wise, up and down, national title favorite. I mean, we're gonna play hard. There's no doubt about it, but it's just going to be a tough one. I'm going to give it to Ohio State. Just, they're talented. See, they got a great defense. See what our offense is going to be made of through the first 4 or 5 weeks. Going in 4-1, I mean, we're going to be fine. Going on to Washington, welcome them to the Big Ten. And, yeah.
I'm curious, what's the score there?
Ohio State?
Yeah.
Fuck, you're going to put that on me?
I'll say 31-14 Ohio State.
That would be respectable.
I'm gonna say 38-17.
Nice.
I think the problem with Ohio State this year, they have really good running backs always. Who's the quarterback? It's the K-State quarterback, right? Will Howard.
Will Howard. He can make mistakes against us.
Yeah, but still. They had Marvin last year, the GOAT. Now they have a very spread out offense, which is a problem. I think the tough part's going to be the corners. I just don't know. I don't know who's going to start, obviously. And Henry, you can speak more on this because you're a defensive guy. Buka's a beast. He didn't do much against us last year, but he's a stud. They have a freshman, I believe it's Jeremiah Smith. Is that the freshman receiver?
Well,
let me see if that's right. He's the highest recruited receiver, I think, ever.
And they got Carnell Tate. He's a dog.
Yes, Jeremiah Smith.
They're always going to have dudes.
He was the number one player in 24/7 Sports, which doesn't mean shit. Obviously, we know that. But he was, I believe,
They always crank him out, though.
Yeah. They always have guys. We know that. Everyone knows that. I mean, it's just going to be a tough one. But,
What are your thoughts on Washington this year coming to the Big Ten?
Yeah, so this is our welcome. We got to welcome the new guys to the Big Ten type game. I think there's going to be a little extra motivation up on that. We're at home. It's going to be a night game, I'm sure. And, Washington, they're talented too. They're always a talented program. Jed Fish at the helm, great head coach. He's at Michigan, UCLA, Arizona, back up to Washington. I think they're going to be talented. I think it's going to be actually a tough game. I'd be surprised if we blow them out, just because they do so many different things. I mean, just looking at Arizona last year. So I know they lost Coach DeBoer to Bama, but coming in with probably one of the best head coaching hires in college football with Jed Fish, what he did at Arizona, and just in his career as well. Been in the NFL, been at big-time programs. I'd be wary about Washington. I still think we're going to win. Defense going to hold it down, get a key turnover at the end, and we're going to win by 3 points.
I like that. I think in my honest opinion, and I will just because I am a Big Ten fan to the day I die, no matter what. I think every team that's coming in from the Pac-12, besides Oregon, because Oregon's pretty incredible this year and last year. I think Washington and USC are going to have a humongous problem trying to get offensive yards. Pac-12 does not have defense. I will take that if you think about it, like for example, Washington, Kevin King was one of the biggest corners to come out of like the Pac-12 for a long time. Dog shit in the NFL because he actually went against teams that can do some on offense.
Yeah, and I mean, you could just go back to what Michigan did to them last year, national championship game. They toted the rock, be a physical team, and they pounded them. Game was over the first 2 possessions. And
when we played USC 2019, Amon-Ra and Pittman, and we just stood the guys. If you have a physical line, it's over. So
they'll quit, and that's what to your point, USC, they quit. They didn't want to hit. It was kind of chilly out as well, even though we were in San Diego, and they'll quit. That's why it's still it's early October, could be cold, could not be. Washington's fine though. They play in cold weather games, being up north. I still think they're talented. USC will be talented, of course. Oregon is going to be a top team. UCLA, they'll struggle a little bit, but when we talk about the Pac-12 teams, I think it's more of an adjustment. I mean, it's an adjustment on them for sure, coming to the Big Ten style of play. But I think defensively, it's an adjustment for the Big Ten defenses. So I'm interested to see how we handle it. I mean, we're going to play our game. We're not going to change much up, but still, it's just like seeing different formations, motions. That's why I'm kind of excited about Tim Lester this year. Talking to the guys, doing, offense, doing more motion, more movement, different route concepts. So getting a little taste of that on a lower scale than coming to play like a Washington or a USC, seeing things like that. I'm not worried, but it'll just be like a nice adjustment to see how Big Ten teams, not only Iowa, but other Big Ten teams adjust to that style of play. And I think we're fine because, Big Ten's got the best coaches in the land. You want to go to the NFL and coach, you got to coach in the Big Ten first. So, I think it will be fun. I'm excited to watch the Pac-12 teams, especially this game when we're talking about Washington at Iowa.
What's the score?
So we win by 3. We get a key turnover at the end. We're going to say it's 27-24 Hawks.
I'm going to go 14-11 Hawks.
How do they get the 11? Safety and 3 field goals?
Yeah, shit. Never mind. I'm going to go that's tough. I forgot about that.
I like it. You got to cut it to a 3-point game. They go for 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 15-12.
How do we get 15?
2 touchdowns.
And we go for 2.
He switches 14-11 and throws a 15 on the board.
You know what? I got one even better.
We missed
the 12.
Physically pop. Yeah, we missed. Yeah, we missed both extra points. We kick a field goal.
We scored 15 last year against Wisconsin.
15. We got 2 extra points blocked. No, we missed the first one. Next one gets blocked. Field goal to win it.
Okay. All right.
So I think we can all agree what we're 5-6-1, 5-1,
5-1.
5-1 with Michigan State.
I will be at the Michigan State game. I think I'm going to that game. Is that home or away?
East Lansing.
Oh yeah, I'm going to go to that game. I think I'm going to try and get a bunch of my Michigan State buddies to go and just be the most obnoxious motherfucker of all time.
Let's not forget. Big Ten championship.
I am a diehard Michigan fan. Heart. I'm kidding. I used to be. I was front row. If people who do not know this, I've probably told this 8 million times. Grew up Michigan State fan my whole life. Was front row cheering for Michigan State when they beat Iowa in the Big Ten championship. One of the coolest games of all time. Now I don't like them. I still always will have a soft spot for them. So that'll be a sweet game to go to. But fuck them.
Coop and I were at the Michigan State camp together.
Me and Henry, my cousin was our camp counselor. And me, Henry, and Henry's twin brother, Mike, were in the same receiver group our junior year of high school.
Yep.
Which was pretty electric. But, yeah, it was like dream come true for me. Playing at freaking I don't remember the name of East Lansing. What's their stadium called?
Spartan Stadium.
Oh, yeah. I think Michigan State's an interesting – who's their head coach?
It's Oregon State, John Smith.
Oh, that's right. They brought in the Oregon State quarterback. I think it's going to be interesting. I think Michigan State has potential. Here's my honest opinion. I think Michigan State is in the same boat as us in the offense. Two kind of, I'm not going to say similar types of plays. Lester's definitely more hurry up. But I mean, they come from backgrounds of just scoring points. But I think it's going to be an interesting battle. I think their offense makes a significant amount more of errors than we do. They're not usually a disciplined team. They aren't the 2015 Michigan State team that won the Rose Bowl.
They're not the D'Antonio teams.
No, the D'Antonio era is over.
Yep.
The Tucker era was short, and the new era is starting now. And I just don't think it's going to be up and going when we play them. They don't have a freaking who's the running back?
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker was that whole offense.
Yeah.
But Michigan State at Spartan Stadium, I'm going to say we win. I'm going to say 21-14.
Okay. Yeah. Michigan State, I think it's kind of a work in progress. Like they don't really have, they had the Mel Tucker experience. For people who have dealt with Mel Tucker, that's the full experience. They got lucky with Kenneth Walker, had one great year, and then it's kind of just flaked out for there. So, their roster's a little weird. They have a great coach, what he did at Oregon State last year, and just building that program to being back to competitive. But I think it's it's going to be a work in progress for them. I think it's going to be a rough year for Michigan State. And I think we handle them pretty good. I think this is a good staple win for us. Go on the road. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a night game or late afternoon game there at Spartan Stadium. And I think we win 27-7. I think they get a cheap touchdown at the end, but we're pitching a shutout basically.
I love it. Fire up. 7-1. Gosh, I wish we were at Northwestern.
I know.
Oh, that lakeside field is beautiful.
It's beautiful, but it's going to be an absolute nightmare to play at.
Yeah.
The wind's going to be like 50 miles an hour coming off the lake.
Yeah,
that's
especially
the best 11 a.m. game on ESPN.
It's 2:30.
But like the games when they're at Northwestern.
Oh yeah, like the 11 a.m. Beth Mullins calling on ESPN2. God, I love it.
Us three, we should go to a Northwestern game this year.
Northwestern Illinois at Wrigley Field, last game of the year.
Really?
Or if you want to do Northwestern Ohio State at Wrigley Field.
When's that one?
It's like middle of the year. I think it's October.
I would go to that one. That would be sick.
I will definitely be at the Illinois Northwestern game just because Jim and Mike, obviously, and Wrigley Field.
Are you guys going to any other Illinois games at Illinois?
Possibly.
I want to tailgate at Champaign.
It's great tailgate spot.
You think so?
I mean, it's not. I am biased towards Iowa. They don't do it as well as us, but they do it. They do a good job. They got that big field, Grange Grove. Like I've been to my fair share of Illinois games, being on a bye week or, when Jim was in college or even when Mike played a 6-year, like been there. But yeah, I'll be at the Illinois Northwestern Wrigley Field game for sure to support Jim and Mike, unfortunately.
I
I may show up to that game in Northwestern gear.
They went to the Iowa Northwestern game, so I will go to it's Wrigley Field. I mean, the Cubs aren't going to be fucking playing there in October, November, so we got to go see something.
True.
Cubs are a different beast I could get fired up about.
Yeah, that's a different topic. We'll save that for another day.
Yeah. All right, let's go rapid fire for the last 4 because we'll revisit this mid-season.
Wisconsin, another trophy game. I mean, Wisconsin, they're going to be tough. I still hate that they do that air raid style. Just give us classic Iowa, Wisconsin. And I think those fans miss it as well after last year's debacle. But it's always going to be a tough game. Bet it's a night game, first November game. And like Coach Ferentz always says, you really find out who are the good teams when you play in November. So that's the start. Last 4 games of the year, got to be playing your best football. And what better, having a rival game, trophy game, probably a night game, I assume, in front of the home fans. I think we win a tight one. I honestly think it's 13-10.
I was going to say 10-7. I think
last year was beautiful. 15-6. Torrey had 9 punts for over 500 yards.
Yeah, and Castro, South Side, my guy, dominated.
He's a beast.
He was in every play.
I will say I think Wisconsin's not going to be as good as they have been. They've lost a lot of guys.
I agree.
They lost Chimray, DK.
Is Fickle on fraud alert?
No. He's a good coach, but I think they'll give him a couple seasons before he's in the hot seat.
I think they got to get rid of the OC. Like, Fickle was great at Cincinnati. Yeah, he kind of ran similar, pistol, like run the ball a little bit, have some deep play action, throw the ball, of course, when they had Desmond Ridder. But the air raid style, it's just not Wisconsin. They're not getting recruits. People don't want to go to fucking Wisconsin anymore. Like, they always had a great offensive line. They still will. But it's just like, okay, why would I go to Wisconsin, my home state, and, not be able to use my size, my ability, show I could, be a power dominant guy, go to Iowa or Michigan or somewhere else. So I just think, they got to reel it in a little bit, I think. And obviously get their defense going a little bit. They got a sick corner. I think he'll be one of the best corners in the nation this year. Be up for the Thorpe Award for sure.
Wait, who? Are you saying Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
I think their safety might be up for it too.
So, they're, I think they reel it in a little bit. Defense always going to be tough. It's always a tough, gritty game with these guys. So that's why I said 13-10.
Hunter Waller's, what do we call it? I forgot what's freaking Classic 8. That was my conference in high school. He's a Muskego kid, stud. He's like 6'3", savage. Yeah, they're going to be solid, but I think we get another dub. UCLA, I'm just going to say, I think UCLA actually could be a tight game. There are some athletes.
Out west, that's a long flight, freaking late game. That's 10 o'clock Central out there. It's an 8 p.m. Pacific Coast time, Pacific Standard Time.
And we got to get used to the terrain there in case we play in the playoffs at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what an opportunity. You fucking get to play in the Rose Bowl. That was one of my goals, personal goals, as a college football player playing in the Big Ten, playing the fucking Rose Bowl. Never forget, speaking of Iowa, UCLA in the Rose Bowl, 1986, my dad was in that game. Unfortunately, we lost. That's a game we want to forget in our history. Ronnie Harmon, 4 fumbles, the most abstract game in probably Iowa history. Like the most crazy, unique game you could find. And we were number 1 team in the country that year at one point, beating Michigan. Made it to the Rose Bowl. UCLA ran down our throats. We lost, but that's not going to happen this game. UCLA, again, work in progress. It'll be a tough game to start for sure, but I think, Coach Ferentz is a pro. He'll have the fellas ready. I think we win. I think we win by, I'll give it 2 scores. Give it 2 scores. I think 31-17 is a fair score for us.
To get rid of the ghosts of Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
Go out west and
some tough memories in the Rose Bowl. So hopefully we can change that. I have no idea what the score of this game is going to be, but yeah, I think we just run over them in the second half. We should. I'm just going to say we should. But yeah, we'll say win. At Maryland, game kind of hits close to hits home, playing against Brian Ferentz as an offensive analyst there. It would be ironic if Maryland kicks our ass on offense.
Tell you what,
I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just going to put that out there.
So my oldest brother Joe played at Maryland, and I was talking to one of his teammates who is still around Maryland, goes to practices all the time, and he texted me the other day. He's like, "I saw your boy Brian." I talked to him. I was like, "What is he working with the offensive line, tight ends?" Because he's an analyst, you don't really know what he's going to do. He's like, "Absolutely," and the guys look good. In Maryland, they always have athletes. Brian's a great coach. Maybe not the best play caller, but he knows his shit. Offensive line, tight end, he cranks them out. He knows how to coach that position group. And, they're just – Locks is a great coach as well. This is going to be a tough one. I think this is a game where it could get scary. And who knows? Who knows what Maryland's schedule is, but they could, have a sick year, could be going for their 8th win on the year at this point. Have a little blackout game. Last time they did that against us, we
beat that ass.
But who knows, dude? Early on in that game when we played, it was loud to start the game. And at that, they have great fans when they're good. So
great stadium.
This could be a scary game for us.
I'm telling you, I think there's nothing more that Brian wants than beat us.
Oh, absolutely. Stick it to the fans.
If there's any coach in the Big Ten that knows our defense, it's him. And he knows how the defensive line is going to move. He knows what the O-line and the tight ends have to do to keep their blocks. It's just going to be a matter of if they can make plays or not.
His hand's going to be all over the game plan.
All over it.
Just from hey, this is what they do. This is what Phil likes to do. But, Phil knows how to get
Phil does spice it up.
End of the day, we did start out with the defense would kick the offense's ass every day in camp.
Yeah. And Brian would be the one yelling at Phil, being like, "What the fuck is that?
What the fuck?"
Yeah. So then, this is going to be a tough game, I think. That would be a scary game. But, again, I'm biased. Who knows what's going to happen? We're going to win this game. But it's going to be fucking tight. A tight game, dude. I think it's honestly, I think it's 23-21. I think we kick a field goal to win.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a tight game, but Brian's only coaching the O-line and tight ends. He's not coaching the defense. I think the defensive line gives up. I think we win 31-14. I think we pull away with it in the second half.
Love it.
We go up and then we score another touchdown that kind of seals it and they give up. Last but not least, and this one is interesting.
Another fucking – this is going to be –
it's going to be a fun game to watch.
This might be a problem here.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
I don't know what to think of this game. And I do all gut feeling Nebraska's going to suck again this year. Like usual. Doesn't matter. They have a 5-star. Don't care. 1 5-star quarterback's not going to change the culture of your team. But I do think Matt Rhule is a good coach. I do think he is setting a foundation for the culture there. I just don't think it's going to take a lot for me to change my opinion that Nebraska will never not be a fraud.
Yeah. I mean, Nebraska, again, they're a team that's always going to have talent. Can they just put it together? And, I'm glad that it's at home. It's a night game at home. Love the Black Friday game. What a tradition. NBC as well. Prime time. Ready to go. This is
love how they switched it to the night game on Black Friday.
You want, here's the thing. You want to make the playoff? We kind of play like a so-so schedule. Not very, we lose to a big team, the only big team that we play all year. It's like, is the committee going to be like, okay, they really haven't played anyone, but they've won 11 games or they've won 10 games up to this point. Let's see them against ranked Nebraska, because I think either Nebraska, they could have 6 wins or they could have fucking 11 wins. It's that type of team. I feel like it's like that every year with them. So this is a test hey, you want to go make the playoff? You want to go get a stamp of approval, be the fucking top 12 team? I mean, fuck top 12, be a fucking top 17. So I think KF, all the fellas are going to hone in on that. That's the whole week. No school. Love that fucking week. Rival game, trophy game. This is pride, man. Thanksgiving, everyone's watching primetime. What more the fuck do you want? And the chance to go fucking play for a national championship, go play in the Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, whatever the fuck is, Peach Bowl, and go play against top competition, say yeah, I'm fucking here. This is what we work for all day. And it comes down to this fucking game against these guys. They think we're at the fucking little kids table. And you want to fucking step on their throat. Yeah, Dylan Raiola, good player. Got talent all over the place. Coach Rule, great coach. Succeeds everywhere he is. But fuck, man. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty, you go back to the fucking helm, who's been doing it for 25 fucking plus years. You go back to him. The Don, Paul Cicero, Goodfellas, one of my favorite fucking movies of all time. He's the Don. He's the Godfather. He's the boss. You go to him. Coach Ferentz gets the boys riled up. We fucking go in there, crowd electric. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Run out that fucking tunnel, and we fucking strike fear into the big fucking red and fucking go stamp our fucking foot, break down that fucking door, get into the college fucking football playoff, bring on a fucking SEC team, and we fucking run the table. We're running the table. We get the fucking steaks. We get the fucking turkey. We get the turducken. We get the turkey legs after the game. We might even fucking pop cigars in the fucking locker room after this game, because we're going to fucking college football playoff. We win this game 11-1. It's going to be tight, but we fucking are ready to go. We're 11-1. College football playoff. Heroes Trophy is ours once again. Nebraska can go kick rocks.
Let's go.
That is coming from Henry said that Don is Kirk Ferentz, which he is. But, and he will never say this, there is a person who is the Don of Nebraska, and that is the Cornhusker killer himself, Henry Marquez, with the greatest play in the history of Iowa versus Nebraska history. And he will never say it, but it is. And that game was electric, and it was the coolest play. It was that, and Nico, that year was the coolest fucking year of football.
Oh, every game was
season. It put us in the Big Ten championship. It was the sickest play. It was the sickest defensive play I've ever seen. Special teams play, I guess. But holy shit, it was electric. And it'd be even more electric if it was a home game and they made just honorary captain. Because they might well do that.
That would be crazy. I'd be so
bringing that game because you're fucking the Cornhusker killer.
That was the shot heard around the world when you blocked it. And all of Hawkeye Nation was like, whoa, we might win.
I mean, we always talk about that. It wasn't just me that won the game. I was just I'll say this. I was just a spark plug that got us going. But yeah, Nebraska game obviously means a ton to me. It means a ton to everyone, man. Huge rival. Nebraska's up there with one of my teams that I just love to beat. Love that game every year again. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, everyone's watching. What more the fuck do you want? And it's just, one, it'd be crazy if I'm an honorary captain one day. Don't think I'll get there, but
We'll see.
if it happens, great. Like, that would be awesome. But these boys, like, yeah, Coop just said, yeah, it might be, great play in the history, but there's going to be another. And who knows? Could be this year. That next play, that greatest play that Coop was saying, could be this year. Like, could be the next one. Could be the next play. That's how we got to be thinking. That's how we are going to be thinking. And again, dude, we're going to be riled up. I'm going to be riled up at that game, wherever I am, watching wherever I am, maybe even at the game. Who knows? But that game's going to be sick, man. I think we got an exciting group this year, veteran group on defense, offense. Let's grow. Let's not expect, the highest expectations. Let's just play after play. Let's go score some points, help the boys out, play team football. Special teams always going to be great. Shout out Coach Woods. Haven't really hit on him at all this pod, but special teams is going to be dialed in. We're going to play team football. Boys are going to be ready to go. We got 11-1 going to the playoff, play an SEC team, run the table a little bit. So I'm excited, man.
Hey, and going off what Henry said, it could be two 11-1 teams in that game, or 2 10-1 teams, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
Because looking at Nebraska's schedule, UTEP, Colorado, UNI, Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana to start the season. They got 7 games that should be, if they are the standard team that they're saying they're going to be, they should be 7-0 going to Ohio State, lose to Ohio State, and then they should be 10-1 after beating UCLA, USC, Wisconsin.
Exactly.
So it should be, if it's a 10-1 game, it's going to be.
Here's the one snippet, though. The kryptonite of Matt Rule is he's never beat a ranked team as a college head coach.
I don't think any of those teams he's playing, except for Ohio State, is going to be ranked.
Watch out for Rutgers.
That's right.
Maybe Rutgers.
Ohio State and Iowa.
Yep.
Exactly. And USC. You could throw USC in there, too.
Fuck USC. Lincoln Riley sucks.
Yeah.
Miller Moss will be good. He's actually a good quarterback, but
Well, they are going
They
to this produce a quarterback who's going to be maybe the biggest bust in college history. So
shut up.
Bears suck. Lions rule.
No, I want them to be 10-1. I want it. Like, I want them. No wonder they already flex it to 6:30 on NBC. NBC knows they want that game.
We want it.
Fuck, I want it.
100%.
Electric. All right. Well, any other predictions from you guys? Player of the years?
I think Luke Lachey wins tight end of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
Mackey.
Yep.
Higgins, All-American. I think it could go Higgins, Stutzman from Oklahoma, and then Nick Jackson for the 3 linebackers to be All-Americans.
I know you threw Stutzman in there just to throw Jake and Brandon a bone, but I don't think he's going to be number 2. But I mean, I think there's a lot of guys in our defense who get a lot of awards this year. I think that who's a stud, Aaron Graves.
Yeah. Gosh, he's gotten he could bully some people.
But everyone's good. Craig's good.
Craig's gonna have a monster year. Xavier Nwamka, I think he's gonna make the jump this year where he just becomes that Iowa stud in the secondary.
He was like this all last year. He was gone.
I'm also gonna say it, and this is a preseason prediction. Nestor is going to be the starting corner, and he's going to have not quite the year Moss had, but he's going to have a breakout year.
He's a Chicago boy.
All right, give us the rundown on Nestor this year.
All right.
Nestor is a player.
Nestor is a player. So he is so comparable to Riley. And when we first met him, here's first thing I ever met him. He was on a visit, him and his dad were in the DB room watching tape. He walks in, usually recruits sit in on a meeting. It's his first meeting. Gets up, Coach Parker's like, no, you got to go in front of the room, say where you're from, all that stuff. he was a little quiet, timid. We're like, no, man, you got to say it with your chest. Said it with his chest, like really confident. And you could just tell, like his dad, very respectful, him very respectful, very humbled, just ready to work, man. Like he couldn't wait to get there. I know who he trains with here in the summer when he's not at Iowa. Freaking great DB coach out here. And works with all types of NFL guys. And like he's a dog, man. He's just like Riley. Didn't expect him to have that quick twitch like him. But man, like he's so comparable. And he's hungry, man. He's a dog. So I'm really excited for him. We keep that tradition going a little bit with the white corners. DB room's always gonna be freaking electric though. We got Jamar, X, Quinn, Deshaun, like Nestor, dude. We got dogs. So
Experience too. It's nice. It's nice to have that.
oh yeah, that defense. Like he's gonna be, he might make some mistakes, but he's gonna be aggressive doing it. So aggressive kid. Just watch it. If you want to watch how this kid plays, if you're not used to him, go watch the games last year. Go watch him run down on kickoff. He's one of the first one there, or he's laying a boom. He's always in on the tackle. Even if he doesn't originally make it, he's in there, ready to scrap. And that's what you want, man. High energy, like ready to go. So I think he'll have a great year. He's playing in a great system. And yeah, man, defense. I mean, I talked to the, TP, Phil the other day. It's like they're growing. They're ready to go. So, and that's them being humble. We got a vet group back there. Like they're gonna be sick. So
Gosh, that defense, it's like you think All-American caliber. Nick Jackson, Jay Higgins, maybe Xavier this year. Like every single time one of those corners comes out of the woodworks, they just go insane. So hopefully Nestor follows in the footsteps. Aaron Graves on the line and Craig, that's like 6 guys you could be like, all right, they are in serious contention for national honors.
oh yeah.
I saw an Instagram post that was saying it's from CBS saying the team's expected to be in the college football playoff bubble, and it's Tennessee, LSU, Clemson, Mizzou, Michigan, K-State, Memphis, and us. We're here, baby.
I like it.
Just give us
a win 1 week at a time.
Consistent offense, and we're good to go.
Man, that's awesome. Well, roadmap to 2024 season, Henry Marquez. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll start ripping some recaps after we watch it.
That would be hilarious.
That's peak content. A 10-minute right outside, just full recap.
What do you think? We just start pulling people from the streets.
All right, we're gonna do that. Street interviews.
I kind of love that.
Oh, that's great. I love it. Hen, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys.
Absolutely, brother.